the world's most famous arena. And we're ready for the Big East Tournament Championship game against the #1 and the #2 seed, the St. John's Red Storm and the Connecticut Huskies. Gus Johnson along with the All-American Jim Jackson. And welcome to the world's most famous arena, folks. These two teams split the regular season series. St. John's going for back-to-back tournament championships. Connecticut wants to win theirs this season and secure a #1 seed in the NCAA tournament if they can win this game.
It's a lot on the line. This is what everybody wanted. #1 versus #2. The accuracy of the UConn offense against the immovable force and physicality of St. John's could be very important. That free throws are limited for St. John's, and UConn don't turn that basketball over.
When you look at players for both teams, pick one that has to have a good game today.
Well, for UConn, it's all about Terrence Reed Jr. because he has to man up the middle without picking up fouls. 20 points, 11 rebounds in that win in UConn. And then for St. John's is Dylan Mitchell. No one for St. John's can match up with his athleticism. His ability to play off of Zuby Ejiofor is very important.
All right, time now to join the third member of our team on the sideline, the beautiful Miss Allison Lucas.
Hey there, Gus. For the UConn Huskies, they are on the cusp of a Big East tournament title 1 week after losing out on their share of the regular season title by losing to Marquette. So this time, head coach Dan Hurley has taken a completely different approach. He said prior to Marquette, we got too ramped up. There was too much buildup, and then it just imploded. So we haven't even talked about winning a title. I have focused exclusively on what we need to do well. And tonight, that's paint defense, how we rebound, and taking care of the ball. He said, I need them to just focus on winning the game, not a championship.
All right, Allison, thank you very much. Let's take a look, folks, at what's at stake for both these teams. UConn seeking their 9th Big East tournament title, most all-time among Big East teams. St. John seeking back-to-back tournament titles, first time in franchise history. But for Connecticut, they are desperately seeking to secure a #1 seed in the NCAA tournament. Right now, our Mike DeCourcy has them projected as a #2 seed, but a win tonight may put them in the catbirds seat. Terrence Reed, Zuby Ejiofor in the circle. Big East championship. The #1 seed, St. John's against #2. Here we go. Time to ball. Out of bounds, and the Red Storm will get it first. What should we pay attention to early in this game?
Well, Coach Dan Hurley talked about it. How you man up the middle, rebound the basketball, limit second opportunities for St. John's is very important. And for St. John's, attention to detail on the back end of this UConn offense. Those slot cuts are very dangerous when you're not paying attention as a defense.
Ejiofor guarded by Terrence Reed. That's going to be the matchup tonight, folks. The two big guys. Here's Zuby. And he hits a mid-range jump shot, knocking down his first. St. John's is on the board.
And that's apropos. Get Zuby the ball early that time. Able to step just outside the lane for a nice little short jump shot. Really good start now for St. John's.
Here's the tip of the spear. Inside. Reed. Jump hook. Off the heel. Ejiofor with the rebound. Darling. Sellers deep. Yeah.
I tell you what, St. John's, if they hit three-point shots early, it's going to be dangerous because now it opens up the lane for Dylan Mitchell and Zuby Ejiofor to even be more potent inside.
St. John's a 33% three-point shooting team on the year. Solo ball. Baseline, Reed again with Ejiofor. This is the matchup. Big fellas inside, and he comes up short.
That's twice. Reed's trying to get to that left shoulder.
Strip picked up, Silas Demery. The Georgia transfer. And he has it poked away and stolen by Dylan Darling. Inside Mitchell. Wants to use that athleticism. Baseline pull-up and a foul. As Sellers fouled in the process of shooting. As usual, Rick Pitino, Natalie Attire, Sugar Sharp. What a job he's done. Coming to St. John's in such a short period of time. Third season, he's made them champions. Josiah Sellers, transferred from Stanford. Prior to that, he was at USC. He's from Hayward, California, 6'5", 190. Sellers coming off a 4-point game against Seton Hall in the semis. But on the season, he's averaging 11. All 3 free throws good. St. John's off to a blistering pace. 9-0 to start. Last time UConn faced St. John's in Hartford, they won by 30. Different start to this one.
The kind of start for St. John's that ignites the crowd and fuels this building with a lot more energy.
Caravan, one of the all-time great Huskies. Demery trying to turn the corner. He's guarded by a bigger Hopkins. 5 to shoot. Mullins deep. Air ball. Nervous. Freshman. Out of bounds with 2.1 to go.
Here, early in the first game, it was Dylan Mitchell basically going at Braylon Mullins, offensively and defensively. Can UConn create enough space and separation in their offense from these long, athletic, and physical defenders for St. John's? That's going to be also a key for us to look out for, guys.
UConn 0 for 3 to start this game. And a 5-second violation called against the Huskies. Connecticut. Danny Hurley's team a little rattled to start this one.
And Demery has to have that 4 count in his head, that if he can't get it out of his hands, 3-4, got to be a timeout.
Darling, transfer from Idaho State, crossover, pull up, in and out, and in. This kid inserted into the starting lineup toward the end of the year has been a difference maker.
He has been settled in to his role. Even when he's not putting the ball through the nets, he has so much of an impact of setting the table for the St. John offense.
Cameron blocked at the rim. Loose. Picked up Dylan Mitchell. Swarming St. John's defense. Mitchell, head of steam to the cup. Lefty off the glass.
Oh, look at that hustle.
Edgefor with the rebound. Off the back rim, no. St. John's coming out with ferocity.
I'm telling you, and it's hard to match that because you can't duplicate that in any shoot-around or practice.
Now Reed's got to be big in this game. And a whistle. Foul coming up. Offensive foul on Terrence Reed.
Well, if I had to give one piece of advice to Reed, Zuby Ejiofor is playing on his left shoulder. Okay, meaning the baseline to his right is going to be open. He's so intent of getting to that left shoulder, right hand jump hook or layup that he's leaving money on the table by not spinning back to the baseline. I guarantee if he does that 2 to 3 times, he'll be able to get to the middle of the court. Has to be a smart play, tough to pick up that offensive foul.
St. John's and UConn split the regular season with each snapping long win streaks by the other. Darling 3. And Solo Ball with the rebound. Huskies trying to stop the bleeding. Ball to the bucket, off the window, caught it on the foul. 15:55 to play in the first half. St. John's trying to smack around the Huskies, but Solo Ball is heading to the line. By Jeep, there's only one. Tonight's game features the last 2 Big East tournament champions. In 24, UConn won the Big East tournament by defeating Marquette in the final 73-57. Then last year, Rick Pitino and the Johnnies won their first title since 2000. 10-2 our score. You surprised with the start of this game?
I'm not really. I knew St. John's would come out charged, especially having the bad taste in their mouth in the last game in Connecticut. One-on-one defense is the key here. Zuby Ejiofor giving up some pounds. and some height, but not heart. Really pushing and being physical with Terrence Reed Jr., not allowing him to get comfortable, picking up that offensive foul. You have to counter the bully a little bit. Use finesse at times to stop trying to overpower your opponent. That way you mix it up. Let's see if Terrence Reed makes that adjustment as we move forward in this game.
St. John's beat UConn here at MSG 81-72 in early February to snap the Huskies' 18-game win streak. UConn got revenge with a 72-40 romp in Hartford that snapped a 13-game win streak for the Red Storm.
And the game here, St. John's took advantage of being the more physical team. 31 free throw attempts, making 22. The game in stores. Better job UConn playing defense without fouling, only 17 attempts.
Sellers with a look and hits. 8 points already for Ozias Sellers, who surpassed 1,000 career points in the regular season finale against Seton Hall. Demery rejected. Zuby Ejiofor tracked down Mullins. It's going to be a rough night for Mullins because he's got Hopkins on him. Reed has to be aggressive. Lost it, gets it back. In triple coverage, throws it away. No call.
Well, no call, but no balance that time.
Sellers.
Because this is where UConn has to attack in transition against a defense that's not set, but can't turn it over.
And Mullins throws it away. 4th turnover for Connecticut. Here's Zuby with Caravan on his back, and he just goes right through him.
Rim run to perfection. The turnover, live ball. Zuby knew exactly the real estate he wanted to carve out in the lane, having Caravan on his back, able to overpower him for another paint point.
Zuby Ejiofor, the Big East Player of the Year, the Big East Defensive Player of the Year, the Big East Scholar Athlete of the Year, and Dylan Darling called for a foul.
Well, watch Zuby. This is where he excels as well as anybody. The weak side and backside help, and then running the court, reward the big fella inside. Let him touch the rock. He'll do the rest.
Caravan, the inbound. Now Demery, guarded by Ian Jackson, who just checked in. Jackson, a marvelous defender. Best defender on this St. John's team. Caravan, off balance. Reed, working, got it. No calls. They're letting them play, folks. This is going to be physical.
Doesn't it remind you of a throwback game? Two bigs inside, touching the rock, having an impact on the game, not shooting threes. Not that I'm against it, but I love to see bigs battle inside the painted area. It seems early in this game, UConn a little rattled, not on balance on a lot of shots. Caravan missed his shot, but it was Reed who was able to recover and finally showing off that soft touch inside.
Here's Ejiofor. He'll hand it off to Jackson from the Bronx. Zuby looking. Baseline. Sannon's in. He can really shoot it. Pure.
X Factor does.
Josan Sannon, 15 points against Seton Hall in the semis. 3 of 5 from the three-point line.
And against this UConn team, in 2 games, he's 4-12 from behind the arc. Good start for him.
Reed again. Dribbling jam. That time he used his quickness.
But that time, UConn played with more pace in their half-court set, which allowed that pass and opening to be available for Terrence Reed to throw it down.
Hopkins on Caravan, spins on him, gets to the 10, and lays it in easily. Transfer from Providence. He's their Swiss Army knife. Can do a little bit of everything. Ball, guarded by Mitchell. Taller, longer, more athletic. Caravan. Weak side rebound, Ross inside, and Demery with a layup. Jaden Ross has had an excellent tournament. He should be considered for all Big East tournament because he's come off the bench and given Danny Hurley a bunch of energy. And now Danny Hurley gets an early tee.
Well, he's been working the officials, since tip ball. And eventually, it was going to be a bad outcome. And now, what happens, Gus, early in this game when you get like that, attack with explosive and passionate as Dan Hurley is, he really has to control that tempo. Now for the remaining of the game, you can't afford to get a second tech.
19-9. James Breeding, Pat Driscoll, Mike Roberts are your officials.
And if you watch that, you say, well, why did he get a tech? Well, this has been an ongoing theme at the beginning of the game. So that was the straw that broke the camel's back, so to speak, from the officials. And I think Dan will adjust to that.
Danny Hurley. Sannon. Jackson. Guarded by Demery. Two great defenders. Hopkins draws a double. 9 to shoot. Hopkins crosses over, gets in the paint. Euro, lefty guard. Man.
The size advantage on the wings skews, of course, towards St. John's. And when they get those big bodies in the lane, it's a lot tougher to stop them and meet them at the rim and deny those shots.
Largest lead of the game right now for the Red Storm. Caravan got the Puppies organized, rims out. Mitchell streaking, watch it, wham, with 2 hands. St. John's playing with energy, ferocity, passion, discipline. 23-9.
Gus, when St. John's is able to make three-point shot, this is what comes available. In transition, no one does it better, baby. D. Mitch.
St. John's head coach and led the Johnnies to a Big East tournament title last year. And moments ago, our Allison Williams was with Coach Pitino.
Coach Pitino, all of your players that I talked to today said they had to come out and play with physicality and energy from the start. How have they established that?
Well, we've done it the last 2 games, but this is UConn. We know the way they can play and come back with their three-point shooting. But we've gotten off to great starts the last 2 nights, and this is the 3rd night. We've got to keep it going.
What has been the key to the start?
Great defense in the low post, not giving them anything, and then choking the three-point line down.
Thank you, Rick.
All right, Al, St. John's in the 3 tourney games opened up 9-0 versus Providence, 8-0 versus Seton Hall, 10-0 tonight.
And the one-on-one defense, now you don't have to help. So you're not giving out spray out threes, and then staying attached, closeouts on the 3, running the smaller guards for UConn off into size, like Coach Pitino said, has been the key.
So what does Connecticut have to do to make an adjustment?
Well, pace of play. Move the basketball side to side like they're doing now. See if they can find the gaps that are open within this defense.
Ross, Ruben Bray has come in for edge of 4, 5 to shoot. Inside, Ryba, and a foul.
And again, the movement allowed Ryba to get deeper post position, albeit he did not get a basket, but he picked up a foul. By moving the defense, watch Ryba be able to duck right into the lane against the smaller Sannon and pick up the foul. That's UConn offense.
Sannon picking up that foul. So Eric Ryba, a freshman from Germany, went to high school in Maryland, averaging 7 points a game on the year and 4 rebounds. He's going to be terrific. First free throw good.
Yeah, it's going to be amazing to watch this young man develop here or there in Connecticut. Watch his versatility as he expands his game, get more comfortable scoring the basketball, but also initiating some offense from the high post.
Started all 5 games. Terrace Reed missed this year and averaged close to 13 points a game. 23 to 11. Mitchell gliding to the basket. This kid is so special.
He is. And that time, that was just off of a made free throw Mitchell in the middle of the court, little inside out, exploding right to the basket.
Interesting matchup here. Malachi Smith, guarded by Ian Jackson. They've known each other since middle school. They're both from the Bronx. Caravan, and that's what they need. Their veteran, their leader, has got to hit some shots tonight.
2 feet in the paint, suck in the defense a little bit. Caravan delivers.
And a whistle and foul. Looks like Ryba fouling Ruben Prey.
Now, Malachi Smith able to get the step on Jackson, and that time Dylan Mitchell helping a little bit too far off of Caravan. Despite his athleticism, not able to influence that shot. Outstanding offense that time by UConn.
Now Mitchell will head to the bench. Ivan Ayo in the game now for St. John's. He wears number 2. Prey across the lane. No. Gets the offensive rebound. Out of bounds. Ivan Ayo couldn't hold on to it. And it's Connecticut basketball.
And Prey just lost it. He had the shot inside on Ryba, but lost it as he was going up. St. John's putting on that pressure full court. And a lot of the times, Gus, is not to steal the ball, but it's to wear into their opponent over time. That late game situations, if it calls for, they're mentally fatigued because of that pressure.
UConn 5 of 15 from the floor. Solo ball, quick burst, tripped and foul. Looks like Sannon may have gotten him, and if that's the case, it's his second.
Well, but you notice too, the pace in which UConn is playing in their half-court set. Now they're either picking up a basket or now they've gotten 2 fouls out of it. Before they were too stagnant. When you do that versus a St. John's team, we're going to gap up the slots, not allow you to drive. That's when you have your issues.
Sellers back in for the Red Storm. Mullins back in for Connecticut. Now Mitchell coming in for Hopkins. Smith the inbounder. Ryba. Caravan dumps it down. Rims up, but a whistle. They're going to count the basket. Goaltending. Looks like Mitchell may have slapped the glass and altered the trajectory of the ball.
But watch this quick hitting play. Kind of ghost that screen right there down the lane, and then that was actually Ayu able to try to get the block.
25-16. Here come the UConn fans. Huskies settling down a bit. Sellers off to a hot start. Mitchell lost it, gets it again. Out of bounds, and will stay right here.
And notice the defensive pressure, since the offense has now kind of taken the lid off the basket, has picked up and increased for UConn, especially with this second unit.
Dylan Mitchell, the inbounder, he transferred from the University of Cincinnati. We saw him last year in our Crown basketball tournament, playing for the Bearcats. Hopkins, a 3.
I tell you what, this young man talked to him before the game, Gus. I said, what mindset coming to St. John's, being the guy? He said, I want to do anything and everything that Coach Pitino needed me to do so we could win.
Is he an NBA player?
He has a chance. It's all dependent on how he shoots the ball.
And a foul going against Connecticut. This time it's Malachi Smith.
Well, watch Hopkins right here. What he's going to do is be patient in order to get to his spot. Squares up, notices the distance between he and Caravan, and confident in that stroke. And he only shoots it at 28%, but he said, you leave me open, I'm going to make you pay. But I still would not overcompensate for that first made three-pointer and give him driving space. Of course, Hopkins have to make a couple more.
Jackson. Demery back in for Smith. Prey, Mitchell, Hopkins, Sellers. Knocked away, Ross. And out of bounds.
And Coach Pitino was saying, calm down. take 1 or 2 more dribbles and increase or decrease the space of that pass.
Now he's going to get Ejiofor off the bench and back in the game. Replacing Ruben Prey.
And it's strategic because Terrence Reed Jr. happens to be back in the game as well.
St. John's has made 7 of their last 8 shots. Ejiofor leaning in off the bounce.
I guess that look like you coming off the bench and just going right in and get a bucket.
My goodness.
Right? That's what you used to do?
I wish. That's what you, well, you were never on the bench, Jim. Caravan. Demery back to Caravan, rises. In and out, tight rims at the guard. Outlet, Hopkins head of steam, the lob. Wham! Zuby, Doobie, do. The largest lead of the game for the Red Storm. 7-0 run. Connecticut overwhelmed by this St. John's team. Baseline, Ross, and hits.
That's your guy.
That's my guy.
That's your guy.
He is a player. Jaden Ross, 8 points against Georgetown in the semis. Averaging 8.5 on 7 of 11 shooting in the Big East tournament coming into this game. First bucket. Jackson. And a whistle and foul. This goes against Demery. 7:34 to play. In the first half, St. John's with a big lead. Hopkins find it. The player of the year in the Big East Conference, Zuby Ejiofor. And the Red Storm are rolling. Back to the Garden after this. Caught up with Coach Hurley.
Coach Hurley, I know this is not the start you wanted, but there's a lot of basketball. What do you guys need to lock in on?
Just defensively, we're a mess right now. And, yeah, just defensively. We're giving up the paint. We're giving up threes. And then offensively, defensively, they're really pressuring us.
Thank you, Dan.
Well, it's a combination of both. Not getting back and being attuned to where the ball is at. That's just too easy. Twice Dylan Mitchell has been able to go coast to coast and get right to the basket. Also, getting out to three-point shooters. Keep in mind, your game plan is to close out short and force St. John's to beat you over the top. And they've done that. 2 out of 4 right now. 2 for 4 from the three-point line. So make the adjustments. Let's see moving forward here how UConn defends the perimeter. More importantly, transition defense.
Baseline Sellers. St. John shooting 72% from the field to start this game. As Danny Hurley said, right now defensively we're a mess. 72% illustrates that comment.
Yeah, it's what St. John's wants to do. Pound the paint, force you to come in, and then be able to knock in a few perimeter jump shots complements that.
Reed guarded by Ejiofor and a whistle.
Well, Mullins threw that away.
Wow.
Hey, next play, let's go! Let's go, let's go, let's
And
go!
you just wonder right now if the moment is too big for Connecticut.
I don't know. I think, again, you can't duplicate or synthesize this energy and this force in which St. John's plays. You gotta, it's like taking some punches early in the fight, Gus. You gotta feel it first.
Jackson, double pump, no. Demery the other way. In transition, Connecticut, and a foul up top on Sellers.
That foul right there, of all the physical contact, you think that one that didn't impact the play would not be called.
Take it away, Zoo!
And St. John's looking to become the 6th Big East team to win consecutive Big East tournament title games. Of course, Villanova did it 3 years in a row, 17, 18, and 19.
So Leotopoulos
Ian, be ready, Ian!
comes in the game now for St. John's. He guards the ball. Mullins had 21 last night, nothing so far. He's being guarded by Dylan Mitchell.
Yeah, you try to get 21 on him.
Yes, exactly. Up top, Demery, in and out.
Man.
Ejiofor facing up on Reed this time. And Reed, nice, blocks it, recovers it. And Ejiofor almost took it away. Demery can't hold on. St. John's forces the turnover.
They do. That's Ejiofor playing exquisite post defense to get a hand on that, forcing that turnover.
7 turnovers for UConn. Hopkins trying to shake up Mullins. Leotopoulos turns a corner, finds Ejiofor right at the rim, got Reed in the air, draws the foul.
I tell you, his constant motion and movement in space makes it extremely difficult to take away his post position, because what he does extremely well, Gus, he sits on your leg. And what I mean by that, whatever that league leg is by his opposing defender, once he sits down, it's impossible for them to move him out the lane. And that's where he carves out a lot of his space inside, which allows him to be so explosive once he gets 2 feet in the paint.
Now subs coming in.
Let's go.
Zuby Ejiofor played 1 year at Kansas for Bill Self, transferred because the Jayhawks had recruited over him, he told me yesterday. So he needed to go somewhere and get a fresh start. He came to St. John's to play for Coach Pitino. The rest is history, as they would say.
Yeah. And that's where the transfer portal played out perfectly, not only for Zuby, but for St. John's University.
Game high 10 points for Ejiofor, 34-19. Mullins, pull-up jumper, short. Darling back in. He's an Energizer bunny. Baseline. Ejiofor draws a double team. Out of bounds with 15 to shoot.
Well, I like that double team, especially where Zuby was at, close to the corner. That coffin corner really didn't have an escape dribble, almost forced the Red Storm to turn it over.
Mitchell. Darling steps into a tray. And the rebound goes to Mullins. Cross court. Solo ball. And Ejiofor to Hopkins. He's got Darling on the left wing. Darling, the lock. Wham! With 2 hands. Dylan Mitchell. Largest lead of the game for the Red Storm. Timeout, Connecticut.
Gus, I didn't know it was legal to use trampolines during the course of the game, but St. John's right now, especially Dylan Mitchell. Boy, get up there, young fella. It's tough to stop when they get out running. Red Storm rolling.
Welcome back to New York City and Madison Square Garden. St. John's still yet to trail this tournament. They currently have their largest lead of the evening. They are up 17 on number 2 seed in UConn. Rob Stone back here with you. Coming up on the Jeep halftime report, a huge Big 12 championship game showdown with one-line implications. You'll see how Michigan was able to escape an upset, and did Florida cost itself a 1 seed. Guys, we'll see you at the break.
All right, thank you very much, Rob.
Guys, I want you to take a look at this. Here's Mitchell up top, Dylan Mitchell. Here's Darling, a.k.a. Pickles. Imagine you and I running the break. Now watch Mitchell. He waits. Darling throws it up at the perfect time. I mean, that's just beautiful basketball. And the difference being with us, Gus, 1, you would shoot it, you wouldn't pass it. And 2, I'm not jumping that high. So
This kid's such a great athlete.
Oh, it's unreal, man. He has a place in the NBA. He reminds me a lot, I cover the Clippers, of a player, Derrick Jones Jr. He carved his way into the league by being a 3-and-D guy, just defending multiple positions, but then developed over time his offense, and he's a valuable asset right now for the Clippers. So you have to find your niche in the league, go in defense, rebounding, allow your offense to mature, add value to a team. And I tell you what, you can have a long, long career in the association.
He is from Tampa, Florida, started his career at Texas, then transferred to Cincinnati, and now at St. John's, all Big East third team, all Big East defensive team. Dylan Mitchell having a great ending to his career, his college career. Solo ball. He's got to make some things happen for this Connecticut squad.
Yeah, he's been struggling with his shot near the end of the year. It's kind of continued in the tournament.
And a foul on the baseline will go against Leotopoulos.
Hey, Coach Dan Hurley with ball tried to reverse psychology. He said last year, going into the tournament, he was shooting the ball well, didn't shoot it well in the tournament, NCAA. He wanted to reverse that with ball and say, regular season struggle, but the tournament, you're going to shoot better. That hasn't worked so far, unfortunately.
Riva down low, contested by Ejiofor. Nothing working for UConn so far.
And that's a shot, Riva. You got to make that shot, especially when your team is down. You need those easier baskets. Jump ball.
UConn 7 of 22 from the field. And a foul coming up against the Red Storm.
3:53 left. Can UConn muster up a little consistency here on the offense and cut into this lead to feel better about themselves?
Actually a turnover, excuse me.
You got it, bro.
Caravan. He slips, gets there, and lays it in. Nice look from Demery.
And that's how Caravan beats you. You're not going to put the ball in his hands and say, okay, go get his buckets. But you utilize him as a chess piece on the chessboard, move him around, get him space, and he can finish as well as anybody.
Ejiofor, guarded by Riva. Lobs it inside and out of bounds. Fourth turnover for the Red Storm.
Well, the constant movement here by Alex Caravan, the slip screen. Again, if you're not below that, and there's a light and opportunity to put that pass there, and then Leotopoulos, the rotation was late. Another turnover.
Ball, he's got Ross in the corner, the lob, and Riva pounds it down. Now Rick Pitino wants a timeout. Connecticut trying to find a groove here at the Garden. They've trailed by as many as 17. 3:06 to go first half. Back after the battle. Reed and Zuby Ejiofor.
And one-on-one. I mean, we love old school basketball. Zuby able to defend one-on-one against Terrence Reed. Again, giving up some LBs, giving up some height. But right now, I think when you're trying to be too physical with Zuby, he's going to win that battle. Sometimes you have to finesse the situation in order to get what you need to get done. So you got to switch it up, and you see the comparisons between the two in this tournament. Again, Zuby is going to have much more of an impact because he's going to touch the ball. His usage rate is going to be higher, so hence his numbers are going to look a little bit different. But I still think it's important that Terrence Reed Jr. is able to kind of establish himself, in particular in the second half, in the paint.
Ejiofor already with 3 blocks. 3 minutes to play. First half, Big East championship game. The winner to receive the automatic bid to the NCAA tournament. Darling. And Connecticut basketball. Let's check in with Miss Allison.
Well, guys, I talked to Zuby Ejiofor about matching up with Terrence Reed today, and he said it's personal for him. He felt like he really played poorly against Reed in that last matchup with UConn, and he said, I'm a competitor, so I took it personally. I have to play well against him, impose my will and physicality early. He's certainly done that, and while he took it personally, he did say it's not about me, though. It's about St. John's and UConn.
And Connecticut turns it over, Allison, on the inbounds.
Well, he took it personal. He was 2 for 5 in stores, only 6 points. So he was on a mission at the beginning of this game, guys.
10 points, 5 rebounds, 3 block shots so far for Zuby. Darling. Hopkins, edge of 4. Mitchell.
Not good spacing right here to get the ball to Zuby.
Back door. Woo!
Oh my.
This kid can glide, folks.
See, that's a matter of being too athletic. You know why?
Wow.
Because the ball hit the back of the iron when he got hit right there. He was so far up over the rim that he surpassed where he could have laid it in. Watch
Where's
this.
his elbow? Where's his elbow?
Watch this. Look at this.
Ooh.
My goodness.
Mitchell, 6 points, 5 rebounds. Leotopoulos checks out. Now Ian Jackson back in for the final 2:23. Jackson and Darling in the backcourt. Mitchell.
And here comes the pressure. The beauty about scoring when you're St. John's is to set the table on your pressure, which is now look at that.
And they turn it over again on the inbound. Jackson finishes. UConn unraveling. 10 turnovers in the first half. They average 11 on the season.
Well, and this is very uncharacteristic right here of Alex Caravan to kind of turn the ball over. I think he panicked a little bit. That time you have Demery coming full speed at you. You kind of whipped that pass and went right through his hands. Darling didn't understand where he was at, but he had the awareness to give it to Jackson to complete that puzzle to score it.
Demery. Silas Demery this season, first team all Big East, first team all defensive team. Second one goes.
There you go. Able to drop in 2, cut this lead down to 14. Again, can you get it to double digits before halftime? But it's going to take a Herculean effort here on the defensive side. Get some stops here down the last 2 minutes, Gus.
Mitchell flashing. Now a feed.
Double team.
Edge of 4. They swing it. Baseline. Darling. Off the side of the backboard. Solo ball with a rebound. Solo ball in traffic. Solo ball. Hands it off. Ross. Baseline. The kick. So low. Batted out by Caravan. New shot clock for the Huskies. Bucket here. Will give them a little confidence. Demery, a lot of dribbling. And a foul on Darling. His second.
Well, Darling is upset with that. Let's see if he has a point here. Fights over the screen, tries to play the position. Oh, that was a little flop right there. That's why the official didn't give it to him. Watch right here. He anticipates that, see? And that's why the official, I think if he stays chest to chest and Demery lowers that shoulder, he may have gotten that call, but Demery stayed with it. Once again, able to get to the free throw line, stop the clock. Maybe put 2 more points on the board. Got this lead down 12.
So if you're Danny Hurley, if you can get out of this last minute and 22 seconds,
Yeah, I know.
maybe cut it to 10, you don't feel as bad because you know you played your worst half of basketball maybe this season.
Yeah, and what feels like you're just being demolished, actually, you can use that to your advantage from a coaching perspective, saying we haven't played our best basketball, but yet with 4 or 5 possessions from tying this thing up or leading. If you get it to double, 10 points.
Hopkins, 106 to go, 12 to shoot. Leotopoulos. And the rebound arrival. Demery, double. Ball. Demery. And he dribbles it right out of bounds.
Yeah, tried to get through 4 white jerseys there. tough turnover when you have momentum on your side. And for St. John's, you don't want to allow the momentum that you've built this half slip away. It's a very important possession here for the Red Storm.
39-27, Red Storm. 28 seconds to go. Hopkins to the bucket. Off the glass, no. Rebound and foul.
Wow. Shooter knows where it's coming off at. Hopkins on that second jump, able to get it back. Shot it kind of hard here. Bob got it in between two. Almost had that and one.
Rival call for the foul. Bryce Hopkins from Oak Park, Illinois, started his college career at Kentucky, then went to Providence, now at St. John's. He's got great size and length, 6'7", 225. So Mitchell will check out for the final 18.7. Rival with 3 fouls now.
And Rival with some good minutes. Knowing that Terrence Reed Jr. had 2 fouls. With an opportunity on his last offensive possession.
Second free throw off the mark, 40-27. This St. John's defense has been superb. Demery, hard drive, lost his footing. Travel.
But that is because that rotation forces you to do that. The backline rotation for St. John's is so adept at getting over to the ball that it was 2 players coming at Demery who had to try to jump stop and lost his footing.
$11 turnovers for Connecticut. One second from half court, Darling. And that's the end of the first half. A half that belonged to the Red Storm of St. John's. 40-27, our score at halftime. St. John's jumped out to a 10-0 lead. Let's go to Allison.
Zuby, you told me how important it was to come out and play St. John's basketball right from the jump. How were you guys able to do that?
I mean, we understand what's at stake. And like I said previously, we didn't play up to par of what St. John's basketball is. So we knew that we had to come out here and set the tone. And what a great environment to play ball. And we still got 20 more minutes to go.
And in those 20 final minutes with a 13-point lead, it's against a UConn team that you know is going to show a lot of fight. What must you guys do?
I mean, I think the biggest thing is applying pressure and just being there for each other, you know, being in the gaps on the defensive end and on the offensive end, you know, playing with tremendous confidence and just doing what we do.
Thank you, Zuby.
Thank you.
Best.
All right, Allison, halftime here at Madison Square Garden. After this commercial break, we'll send you courtside for the Jeep Halftime Show with Rob Stone, Casey Jacobson, and Donnie Marshall. Welcome back to the world's most famous arena, Madison Square Garden. 40-27, St. John's leads UConn here in the Big East Tournament Championship game. First half stats sponsored by Jeep. There's only one.
But here's the key right here. These 15 points off those 11 turnovers. Hence, you're going to shoot a lot better if you're St. John's. You're able to get out in transition.
Gus Johnson along with Jimmy Jackson. And Jimmy, when you look at this St. John's defense, I mean, they're just swarming, and they all know where they need to be.
They've mastered the art of playing physical without fouling. And that's hard to do in today's game when everything is more skewed towards the offensive player. But because they have that reputation, they rarely reach, but they get their bodies in front. The back line rotation takes away layups. Let's see if UConn makes that adjustment to continue to play with pace in the half-court set to see if they can get some gaps and some openings.
All right, let's check in on the big guys, Zuby Ejiofor and Terrence Reed.
Well, the ability to move Zuby around here is to create space. So now he can drive a bigger Terrence Reed Jr. and get by him inside. This is at the beginning of the game. He's able to slip this screen inside, a nice little 8-foot jump shot. And then, of course, running the court. When you have Dylan Mitchell and Hopkins that can rebound, now Zuby is able to run the court and get some easier baskets without battling inside.
Let's go to Allison.
We got to chip away. That's what Dan Hurley told his UConn team at the half. He said turnovers are the reason we're in this position. We've had 11 of them, leading to 15 St. John's points. We have to have the composure to chip away. And he reminded his guys they were down 11 last time they played St. John's here, and they got it to within 1. So he said we've done this before, and he did say we got to get the ball inside to Terrace Reed Jr. more. He said if he would have hit some of those shots early, this game would have had a very different start.
This is UConn's largest halftime deficit of the season. Let's see how the Huskies adjust. St. John's with a basketball to start the second half. Hopkins, Ejiofor, Darling, Mitchell, and Oziah Sellers with it right now. Chip away. Backdoor Sellers. And a foul coming up on Caravan.
And that's not the way you want to start, with the back pick to get Sellers open. A direct pass inside. Now, you got to have more pressure on the passer. That will limit the ability to shoot that pass right down the gut of the defense. But excellent play call by St. John's on their first possession. And I tell you what, too, Gus, for UConn fans, I know that first half wasn't what you wanted it to be, but it could have been worse. Could have been down 20. You had an opportunity to close the lead down before a half, got it down to 13. I know it's back up to 15, but you're still in striking distance. You can manufacture some stops and some positive offensive possessions.
Demery, Mullins, Caravan, Reed. Solo ball. Inside Reed, nice catch, point blank range, and lays it in.
Beautiful. That time you bring Caravan to the corner. The weak side is open. That pass over the top to Reed. Beautiful, perfect execution that time by UConn.
Ejiofor, backpedaling, draws a double team. Top of the arc, Hopkins, Rogers. Bryce Hopkins, how simple can it get? He was wide open. He has a game-high 11.
And Gus, the double team, because St. John's, and you said it earlier, only shoots 33%, 34 from 3. Going to give those shots up. It's up to the players for St. John's to make UConn pay when they double. Well, here it is. You bring Caravan to the corner. Zuby is on the top side, and Sellers cannot rotate fast enough to get back. Excellent way to free up some space for Terrace Reed Jr.
Sellers with the steal. Sellers drives, hangs, out of bounds. But another Connecticut turnover.
Yeah, I know.
It's almost like they've lost a certain kind of concentration on the offensive end.
Well, but the pressure of St. John's a lot of times mentally fatigues teams, and they force these type of turnovers, especially from a team that doesn't generally have these mental mistakes, but it wears on you over time.
12 turnovers for the Red Storm. Excuse me, the Red Storm had forced Connecticut into tonight. Inside, Sellers, easy from Mitchell.
Underneath out of bounds, side out of bounds, the master Rick Pitino is at getting those opportunities. We mentioned that last night, and there's Sellers, who set the pick, ended up getting that open basket underneath.
Mullins leads in and rattles one home.
Nice.
That's his first basket of the game. He had 21 last night.
Well, I like the fact that Mullins attacked off the dribble, used his size inside the paint to score over the top.
Ejiofor calling for it with Reed on his back. Mitchell thought about breaking to the basketball. Now Hopkins goes one-on-one. Leaves it, 6 to shoot. Baseline, Sellers, 3 to shoot, lets it fly. Dimmer, ball. Mullins, blocked. And Caravan tied up. Arrow in the favor of the Huskies.
And the Huskies desperately need to figure out a way to get Solo Ball involved in this game offensively. Because when he gets going from the guard position, now the actions you work with seem to open up and free up those passing lanes and gaps and driving lanes when he's making shots, especially from the perimeter.
5 block shots for St. John's in this game so far. That's a good number. Demery. Inside Reed. Ejiofor defends him extremely well. Mitchell head of steam. And a whistle and foul coming up.
Now it's Terrence Reed Jr. is making it easy for Ejiofor. He's just going to stay on that left shoulder. The right shoulder spin back is so open. But when you're comfortable going one way, you continue to kind of repeat that same habit. And in this case, it's kind of detrimental to his offensive game.
Sannon. Always deadly. Ejiofor there for the rebound, but he knocks it out of play. Full court pressure now by St. John's. And I think this pressure has kind of sped him up a little bit or thrown him out of a certain kind of rhythm. Would you agree?
It does, but it also takes some time off the small clock, which is the shot clock. So you get into your offense a little bit later.
Here, man. 47-33.
And once again, Caravan able to catch on the move, keep his defender on his hip, waltz right down the lane for a nice easy basket.
Darling curling, straightaway 3. Mullins with the rebound. Connecticut's getting nothing from Solo Ball and Mullins. They got to start getting ready. There it is. Timeout. St. John's. Rick Pitino knows it. 7-0 run. Rip Hamilton, one of the all-time greats, says, okay.
I got game, she got game, you got game, they got game, we got game.
Caravan, welcome to the show. You called it, Gus. Mullins need to get involved. How's that 3 for you?
You got game, they got game, he got game.
Square Guard, a couple years ago, they fixed up that front entrance. It looks beautiful. 47-36, fans here enjoying it. Donovan Clingan, former Connecticut star, now with the Portland Trail Blazers. Rudy Gay was a legendary Connecticut player as well. Looks like he's got his little man with him. Then there's Emeka Okafor, Scholar Athlete of the Year, Player of the Year, Rip Hamilton. He's got his kid with him. Jason Williams. Big time St. John star. And then there's our man, Mark Jackson, Zendon Hamilton.
Mama, there goes that
Mark Jackson always, he's always had, since I started watching him when I was in high school, the best line on his haircut of all time. It's not even sprayed on.
No, he got it. I'm still confused about that player, defensive player of the year.
Oh, my God.
I'm still confused about that play.
When he was a defensive player of the year.
When he was at St. John's, it was 85, 86.
All right, here come the Red Storm. They've been playing some excellent defense in this game. Sannon driving inside. Mitchell has it taken away by Demery. Demery head of the field. Solo Ball. Can he get an easy one? No! That's because Zubi Ejiofor rejected it. But will they count it?
I don't think they're going to.
And they're going to count the bucket.
Take a look at the end of this. The ball is up. I don't know
about that one.
Gus.
Wow.
I don't know.
We'll find out when we return. To see whether or not Zuby Ejiofor had a clean block. We feel, based on what we've seen, that the block was clean.
Well, it's not only that, too, Gus. If it's a clean block, who retains possession? That's a clean block. He blocks it against the backboard. But now when that ball comes off, who has it? That's what you also have to look at as an official. So it looked like it may be a jump ball. Because right there, I think it's Mullins who, does he retain it, or is that Embry that goes and gets it?
After review, the St. John's challenge is successful and the call is overturned. At the time that the play was stopped for the goaltending call, At the time the play was stopped for the goaltending call, Connecticut had possession of the ball. Connecticut will retain possession with 15:33 on the game clock and 26 on the shot clock.
So there you have it. Connecticut basketball, clean block. Now Mullins in the corner on the inbounds off the back rim. Solo ball chasing it. Jackson got a hand on it. Finally, Terrace Reed collects it. Now they're going to take a look at the shot clock. I don't believe that it started on time.
Well, yeah.
Now they put 24 on the shot clock. 30 was on it previously. Demery. Caravan. Ball. Inside Reed on Ejiofor off the glass and in.
Now the adjustment that UConn has made of entering the ball into Terrace Reed has been now on angles. Move him, shift him inside, swing the ball, and get one-on-one coverage where now he can just catch and finish.
9-0 run for the Huskies, who trail by as many as 18. Hopkins. Let's see if St. John's tightens up as UConn tries to claw back into this game. Ejiofor thinking about it, rises. Loose ball, rebound inside. Hopkins, up and in.
That's a big boy rebound right there. You got, if Zuby Ejiofor is out there shooting, UConn, you got to be able to gobble up that defensive rebound.
Hopkins with 13 points and 3 boards. Demery pump fake, and he's fouled by Mitchell. His second.
Well, Dan Hurley went in his bag here. Cross screen to get Terrace Reed open inside. You catch, now you don't have to battle. You don't have to use your power to try to score. And this is B-Hop. Inside, gathered himself. Another offensive rebound and second chance point on the evening for St. John.
Reed trying to get a foot in the lane. Does on Ejiofor. Across the body and good. Now he's using his weight on Zuby.
Well, he got lower in his stance. That time he was able to leverage or out-leverage Zuby, get him closer underneath the basket, show off that exquisite touch with that left hand, right hand jump hook inside.
10 points, 5 rebounds for Terrace Reed. Mitchell in space, and he throws it away. No, deflected by Mullins.
Yeah, Mullins got ahead. And now, this is something that Coach Pitino talked about. The never give up nature of UConn. They're going to come at you. And right now they found the rhythm offensively on how to activate Terrace Reed Jr.
Ejiofor. Inside, Hopkins. And out of bounds with 2.6 to shoot.
Now, Rick Pitino is really good at getting the ball inside close right here. The inside man taking the ball, guarding the ball, has to force this ball out to the corners.
Sandin, deep three! And a nice rebound by Caravan. 9-point game. Huskies have trailed by as many as 18. Demery fouled by Hopkins. Now St. John's getting sloppy on defense.
The aggressive nature right now of St. John's is starting to mount up some fouls here in this second half.
St. John's has led by as many as 18. UConn has cut it to single digits for the first time since it was 25-16 at the 9:58 mark of the first half. And here come the Husky fans. They've been waiting. Demery drives. Demery inside. Reed misses at point blank range. Sannon. Edgefor. Lost it. Out of bounds, and St. John's will keep it.
Excellent positional defense that time by Terrace Reed Jr. Edgefor tried to outpower Reed and kind of lost it.
They're waiting for the replay.
What UConn is looking at to see if it was the correct call. They didn't want to challenge.
Baseline, Sannon. In and out. A basket here in this Connecticut fan base will explode. Reed, jump hook. Here we go. 49-42. Big East Tournament Championship game. Time out. St. John's. Here come the Huskies.
But don't underestimate having a little momentum going into the half. As a result, you see Braylon Mullins, 15 points, back in this game. Big East final in the Garden.
9-42. Our score. Terrace Reed has been terrific.
But the adjustment at halftime has been superb, providing space and opportunity for Terrace Reed to kind of do his thing, whether that's catching the ball on the move now, able to overpower Zuby Edgefor inside, then on the defensive end, holding his own, forcing Zuby to be uncomfortable. Right now, Terrace Reed 4 for 6 in this second half for 8 points. Has been the key factor to why this is a 7-point game.
49-42. Red Storm. UConn on a 13-2 run. Now Darling. Cross court, Hopkins, 16-footer. Money.
Cash. The middle was wide open because the denial to try to keep the ball out of Edgefor's hands opened up that opportunity, and B. Hop didn't even think. Oh!
And Darling strips Mullins. Caught him from behind. 13 turnovers for Connecticut. Sannon, skipping, kicking, Zuby, Doobie,
I tell you what, this team, St. John's, when they get pushed to the edge, they just have the fortitude of how to respond. They absorb the run, and they come back with a bucket, defensive play, and another. It's just, see why they won the regular season.
Now Demery. And Darling, such a tenacious defender. Picks up his third.
Well, every now and then, Zuby will make you play for laying back in the lane. Santa did an excellent job of occupying Terrace Reed Jr. long enough to get this pass back out. Edgefor 30% from behind the arc.
Edgefor tonight, 13 points on 5 of 9 shooting. He's got 6 rebounds and 2 assists. Caravan. Reed. Nice drop step and a foul.
Which way did he turn?
He turned the way you've been telling him to turn all night.
See, it's a setup.
But he doesn't have a strong dribble.
That's all right. All he has to do is power dribble, bump Zuby with that left shoulder, and spin right into his shot. Especially when he's that deep. Here it is. Boom. Bounce right there. You spin in. Now you go for your shot. Now, he didn't make it, but he did get fouled. And that's the counter to that move of getting to that left shoulder.
Reed has the last 6 for Connecticut. And it's been a steady diet of Terrace Reed. However, solo ball, Mullins, Caravan, they've disappeared, so to speak.
So I tell you what, plenty of time for one or all of those 3 to have an impact on how UConn finishes this game.
Baseline Sandin bobbled it. Ejiofor calling for it. He's got Demery on his back. Sandin, strong, out of bounds. And the Red Storm will keep it. The Red Storm just look more aggressive, more active.
They do, especially on the offensive glass. That time you got to gobble up. I know it's Zuby Ejiofor coming, but those are the rebounds you have to have if you're UConn to continue to kind of fight and scrap and get back in this game in this second half.
Ejiofor facing up now on Reed. Across the lane. And the Big East Conference Player of the Year continues to dominate. He's got 15 on 6 of 10 shooting. Demery. Almost double dribble. Reed. And a foul.
Yeah. Outstanding patience. Let's go back to Zuby. Old school basketball here. Zuby has it. Okay. Kick it out. Let me reestablish my post position. Identify the middle is open. He too, like Terrace Reed, loves to get to that left shoulder. Oh man. Man, he's just a little bit too small, big fella.
56-43. St. John's is led by as many as 18. Now Reed again. Reverse layup, good. (56-45). Sandin, step back. That's usually his shot. Now Jackson.
Great box out. Right. Great box out that time.
Caravan.
Yep, by Caravan.
Demery. Caravan has not been able to create a shot for himself tonight. Demery, quick block from behind by Ejiofor. Loose ball, Mitchell. Watch out. Payne. Wow! Woo! Dylan Mitchell.
Well, watch the block first. The rotation is there once again, and he blocks this with so much aggression. Listen to that. And then, of course, in transition, let it breathe.
What do you call that?
Whatever you want. Whatever you want.
All right.
Oh, wait. And at the end of that, that's huge right here.
Well, guys, that's exactly the kind of response Rick Pitino was looking for from his 3 seniors throughout this half. He has been challenging Mitchell, Hopkins, and Ejiofor, saying, I need you to elevate your game. I need you to bring up your energy, your aggressiveness. He told them earlier in this half, you are playing tired. This is the championship game. You have to dig deeper. Boy, have they ever.
And thank you very much, Allison. 58-45. 9:06 to go.
And Demery.
And I understand, Jimmy, that Connecticut's trying to get it to Terrace Reed, but other guys now, when they get it to him, are just standing around watching and aren't doing anything offensively.
Well, but
that's what I don't understand.
Well, a lot has to do with UConn usually being able to dissect the defense, get those slip screens in the slots, turn the corner on the pick and roll. But the perimeter players for St. John's are doing a phenomenal job of not allowing that to happen.
Caravan. Reed with an offensive rebound and good.
I tell you what, my man Kamani Young, who's the assistant coach for UConn, I think he may have had to have a heart-to-heart with Terrence Reed Jr. there at halftime, because he's playing like an animal right now.
He scored the last 11.
Yep.
And a whistle and foul on the baseline.
I just love when a young man has struggled a little bit in that first half, reaches deeper down within himself and makes a big difference. A lot of game left to play, but I love the adjusted attitude and the aggressive nature of Terrence Reed Jr. here in the second half.
Hopkins. Now Ryba comes in. Uzziah Sellers comes in.
When you see the game too, Reed out, Zuby is out, Zuby Ejiofor is out. So both coaches want to keep those two players on the court at the same time.
Ball has 3 points. Mullins has 5 points. He averages Ball 14 a game. Mullins averages 12. Ball deep three.
A critical time here for UConn. Can you win the non-Zuby minutes while he's on the bench?
Jackson hard drive from the Bronx in traffic. No. Ball ahead of the field. Malachi Smith glides and hits. He took it from Greg Concourse, folks. All the way to Midtown.
Well, it starts with the defense. Jackson between 3 defenders. He kind of loses it off of Ryba's arm, and then Smith kept the ball, kept his dribble. New contact was coming, eyes up at the rim. Man, that's a big-time shot right there, Gus.
He went to St. Raymond's in the Bronx. Transferred from Dayton. Ten-point game. 8 minutes to play in regulation. Gray, Darling, Mitchell, Sellers, Hopkins, Zuby Ejiofor, Terrace Reed, both on the bench. Hopkins, he's had some timely buckets. .7:36 to play. 59-49. Red Storm. Back after this. Inside the huddle with Danny Hurley.
Stop, score, they get tight, right? They get tight. Just chip away in this 4-minute war.
Well, I love it, Gus, because coaches look at it 4-minute increments, okay? You get to stop, now you can get out and run, and Smith didn't run a risk giving the ball up and turning it over. Instead, he got himself a foul, missed a free throw, but that's what he's talking about. 4 minutes, let's win this next 4 minutes and see where we put ourselves. Right now in the second half, 22 points, 10 for 18 shooting, but check this out, Gus. 18 of those 22 points by UConn are in the paint. So kind of giving St. John's a little bit of their own medicine here in the second half.
Ejiofor and Reed are not on the floor. Here's Malachi Smith guarded by Darling. Smith drives down the lane, kicks it out. Mullins, rise and fire. In and out. Loose. Riva got it. Ball. Needs to hit one. Off the back rim. Mullins. Ball drives. Hangs. Russ with the rebound. Now Smith. Mullins driving. Reverse. Out of bounds, and it's St. John's basketball.
Let's bookmark that. That was 4 opportunities right there for UConn. A couple three-point shots that went astray, and then that time Mullins not able to complete the deal on that drive. Here come the big boys back in the game. And UConn not able to really make a dent in this lead while Zuby was collecting a little rest on the pine.
Darling, all the way, and lays it in. My darling, where have you been?
Darling, a.k.a. Pickles. That's what his mom calls him.
Pickles. Reed. Trying to go through Ejiofor, strips it. $61-49. Darling again down the lane. Wow. And he's fouled. Malachi Smith picks up his second.
Well, the stabilizer has just been so steady. That time kind of easing his way to the basket. And then the last play, utilizing the high pick and roll, getting past his opponent, proving you don't have to out-quick your opponent to get to your spots on the court. You've got to be savvy enough to understand and identify when those lanes are open, how and when to attack them.
Dylan Darling, transfer from Idaho State, started his career at Washington State. He's from Spokane. He started the last 5 games. And he's been a difference maker.
Yes, he has. Values the basketball, doesn't turn it over, executes the offense. He's been like a little pest on the defensive end.
Oh man, he is such a he is so annoying on defense. With quick hands. Demery, he's been quiet offensively tonight.
He's back in the game. That's good to see. He went out holding that ankle.
Ross.
The guy.
And a rebound to Mitchell. 5:26 to play here in the Big East Tournament Championship game. 63-49. St. John's. And from the very beginning, when they got off to a 10-0 run, you knew that they were all business. The Red Storm have not trailed in this tournament. That's an unbelievable number.
Unreal. And give UConn credit. They didn't either until they went up against this beast right here tonight.
And they look like a beast. Darling. 14-footer. Count it. Dylan Darling. Timeout, Connecticut. Darling, 8 points, 5 assists. And folks, no turnovers. St. John's balling out in the big game against the number 6 team in the nation.
St. John's has made 10 three-pointers between the 2 games. Now 14, but not being able to shoot the ball well from the perimeter by UConn puts a lot of stress on their defense.
65-49, 4:57 to go. UConn looking for answers. But this St. John's defense, it's been tenacious. Reed block, get like that. Zuby Ejiofor, another block. He's got 7 blocks in this game, folks.
Yeah, but that pass took Terrence Reed off his target. He got buried underneath the basket, and that allowed Zuby to do what he does well, which is clean up the glass and block that shot.
7 blocks is a Big East tournament record.
He just don't block him either, man. He's trying to take the air off the ball.
Darling.
Now watch where the pass is at. It leads Terrence Reed. Look, he's all the way under. If that pass is where Reed could just be stationary and catch it, I think he finishes this, and he doesn't have balance to finish or explode.
Yeah, but Dylan Mitchell on the entry pass, so tall, so long, got up so high, Mullins had to put it in the only spot he could put it in.
And that's where I talked about pressuring the passer. That helps out whoever's in reception of that.
Sellers drains a jumper in the corner. UConn felt that if they won this game, they'd get a #1 seed. I don't know. St. John's, we don't know where they're going to be seated. But they're playing some of the best basketball in the country right now. Mullins, a 3. Rebounded. Demery. And Dylan Mitchell is there for the board. Hopkins. Backpedaling. Drop step. Off the glass. Good. Largest lead of the game for St. John's. And listen to this crowd. They love the Red Storm.
And unfortunately, through that exchange, Demery is calling for assistance to come back out the game.
10-0 run for Rick Pitino and New York's college basketball team.
New York.
He may be the best baseball player in the history of the game. And Zuby Ejiofor is the best basketball player on the court tonight.
He is, and he's one of the best to don a St. John's uniform. You had a lot of them, but his energy is infectious. His desire to play this game at a high level bleeds through to his teammates. You put that combination with a young man that has a high IQ, a commitment to the program and his teammates, and you
remember he's not only the conference player of the year,
talk to me,
not only the conference defensive player of the year, but he's also the conference's scholar athlete of the year. 3.7, folks. Listen to me. 3.7 grade point average in sports management.
That's what you call a 3-and-D guy.
Woo! Now double technicals have been called.
And Gus, we were talking too off air. One of the challenges here with this UConn team, especially playing against St. John's, smaller guards, but you don't have a go-to guy that can just go get it. You need to put the ball
Rip
in his
Hamilton,
hand.
Ray Allen.
Yeah, Rudy Gay.
Right. Tall, long, and can score.
Well, and also too with solo ball not shooting the ball well down the stretch of the season, his confidence is a little shot.
Ball 1 for 7 tonight. Reed couldn't gather himself. Ejiofor, too much pressure.
And the help on the backside by Dylan Mitchell also affected that shot.
Hopkins. 69-49. Zuby. Again. 18 points. 7 rebounds. A Big East Tournament Championship game. 7 blocks. A record.
And he came in with only 13 made three-point field goals on the season. Dropped in 2 right now.
Approaching the 2-minute mark of the second half. The St. John's Red Storm closing in on back-to-back Big East Tournament championships to go along with their back-to-back Big East regular season titles. Back-to-back. And another steal. Connecticut falling apart in this title game.
Remember that speech that Coach Hurley gave about win the 4-minute segment? Well,
looks like St. John's won that.
Well, St. John's won at 10-0.
118. The Red Storm. UConn had cut it to 7, but since then, the Red Storm on a 24-8 run.
You know, the ability to respond is what has made this St. John's team such a tough out. And Zuby, this one is off the dribble. Really good contest by Terrence Reed Jr., but when it's going your way, it's going your way.
Hopkins checks out. Gets a nice hand from the crowd. Malachi Smith. That ends a 13-0 run. Ejiofor with the rebound. Number 9. Darling hasn't turned it over tonight. Inside. Prey with a rebound. And a foul.
And despite this loss here by UConn, wherever they land seed-wise going into the tournament, they're going to be a very difficult out for a team who hasn't seen this action that they possess. It's a chance for Dan Hurley to regather his troops, refocus them. This is still a very, very good UConn team that just got beat by a better St. John's team. And
Darling leaves the game. He played 23 minutes, no turnovers.
And in a game like this, that's huge. In the championship game, for your primary ball handler to value the pill, make the right decision, and don't turn it over.
Jackson. And he turns it over. Smith. Looks like Ejiofor may have got a hand on it. If he did, that's his 8th block. I'm not sure.
And he could have easily let that go, but there's no quitting that young man. He's still playing hard all the way through the final buzzer.
47.9 to go. Ross. Contested. Smith. Air ball. It's that St. John's defense, Jimmy. When they hang their hats on their defense, they can beat anybody in America.
And, you know, what that defense does for you in those times where you may have a drought offensively of not scoring the ball, you limit your opponent's ability to stretch the lead.
And Zuby comes out, and he gets an attaboy from Coach. What a kid. What a kid. He left Kansas, needed a new start. He comes to St. John's. Coach Pitino develops him. Coach Mass develops him. And now he's getting ready to win another Big East tournament title. Prey. Shannon. Leotopoulos. And if you want to know the stat that's very important, St. John's holds Mullins to 5 and Solo Ball to 3. The St. John's Red Storm are once again Big East Tournament champions, back to back. 72-52 the final.
A spectacular, dominant game by the Red Storm. No attention to detail, following the game plan that's scripted for you. Doing all the little things and not playing outside of who you are. The epitome of a championship caliber team, and congratulations for history-setting back-to-back Big East tournament championships.
And our Big East tournament all-tournament team: Bryce Hopkins, Dylan Mitchell from St. John's, Terrace Reed from UConn, Alex Caravan from UConn, and Bud Clark from Seton Hall. And we're not going to tell you who the Dave Gavitt most outstanding player of the Big East tournament is.
Really?
Because we're going to make you wait for the trophy presentation.
Yeah, well,
I think everybody knows.
I think everybody knows who that is. It's Dylan Darling.
And here's Allison with Bryce Hopkins.
Bryce, congratulations. You told me you guys had to come out and set the tone early in this one. You did that. How did you get that tone established and maintain it throughout?
Like I told you earlier, it was a matter of us buying into the scouting report and remembering what they did to us last time when we played them at their place. I feel like we came out with a chip on our shoulder. We came out and we jumped on them quick, and I feel like from there on, when we got that first lead, we just kept it going from there.
How did you guys change this game with your defense?
I feel like it was just us buying in and taking our level of preparation to another level. I feel like we were all locked in, and we remember what they did to us last time when we played them there. That was the biggest thing, was remembering that.
This gives you guys back-to-back Big East tournament titles, but it is your first tournament title. How does it feel?
Feels amazing. I've been in this league for 4 years, even though I was dealing with some injuries. And, you know, to be a championship in the regular season and in the Big East championship, it means a lot.
Thank you so much, Bryce. Congrats.
So much. Thank you, thank you.
All right, your final thoughts, Jimmy, on this outstanding performance by the Red Storm.
Well, we got what we wanted, which was #1 versus #2. We knew that St. John's would play with a chip on their shoulder, had the home court advantage here, despite the raucous crowd and the fantastic fans of UConn. But it was a certain energy and demeanor and force that St. John's played with at the beginning that UConn just couldn't overcome.
All right, let's go back to Allison.
Thank you, Gus. Zuby, first of all, congratulations. I can see what this means to you. Can you describe to me what you're feeling right now?
I mean, there's a lot of emotions. I mean, you know, from where we started, you know, everybody didn't think we could get to this moment, but these guys believed and they trusted the work, you know, each and every night. And look at us, we're back-to-back regular season and back-to-back tournament champs. It's not easy, but we got it done.
That you are. You dominated this game. You dominated this tournament. But I want to ask you about the moment you walked off this court for the last time. What was going through your mind as you hugged your coach and you hugged your teammates?
I mean, I'm not too much of an emotional guy, but I shed a tear. I mean, I love this place, and Johnny's Nation is so special to me, and just to see the excitement in my teammates' faces is what meant the most to me.
Congratulations. We'll see you in the dance.
Thank you so much.
All right, Allison, thank you. So the final score from the world's most famous arena: St. John 72, UConn 52. The Red Storm win back-to-back Big East tournament titles. For Jim Jackson, Allison Williams, and our entire Fox Sports crew, I'm Gus Johnson saying so long from New York. We'll send you to Rob Stone and the guys right after this break. You're watching the Big East tournament on Fox.